Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Players Only YouTube channel. Welcome to our Champions League predictions for the playoff second leg ties here. Once again, we are in another location. It seems like 2025 is a year of different locations here, but I had to get this video out. Obviously, missed last week. I was away, so couldn't do that video. This time I've got my equipment with me. I've taken it with me, and we're ready to go for this second leg games. We've got some massive ones. Real Madrid, Man City, a big boy getting knocked out. Can Celtic turn it around versus Bayern Munich? Do Atalanta get knocked out by Club Brugge? Do Milan fail to qualify? Yeah, it's a massive storylines and massive games to dive into, so cannot wait to find out the results of these ones. Obviously, 4 games tonight, 4 games tomorrow, a lot to be excited about. So let's now get straight into our Champions League predictions for the second leg of these playoff games. Our first game takes us to Milan as Milan host Feyenoord. The first leg obviously ending 1-0 to the Dutch side in the Netherlands after they just made their way over the line. A great first half from the side saw them hold on to that victory. A Paxao goal in the opening 5 minutes was the difference in that game there. We know though Milan have been a better second half side. They showed that in that game there, but they're going to have to be better from minute 1, this one here. They've been flying domestically, 3 wins out of the last 4 games, only conceding 3 goals in their last 5 games across all competitions. So Conceição's men look much better. The new signings have definitely came to the side and improved the side. So there's positives around Milan. It's about producing on the pitch for a full 90 minutes. I look at this team here, I look at where they struggled in that first leg, and its creation, its ability to finish the ball in the back of the net. And simply put, Rafa Leão is supposed to do that job. Hasn't been good enough this season, often substituted off before the 90 minutes comes to an end. So I'm looking to him to be much better. I'm looking at Christian Pulisic to be better in this game here. The first leg, he was a bit all over the place, I think is the best way to say it. He struggled to get involved in the game. We obviously know Tijjani Hernandez is going to do his thing. We obviously know Kyle Walker coming to the side adds that sort of experience and depth. The centre halves have been fantastic, I think, this season. It's about the creators in the final third. Can they produce that end product? João Felix as well up top there as well. You've got a lot of players who can be hit or miss. They have to be hits in this game here to beat this Feyenoord side. I just think the pace of play and the incision and precision of the final third has to improve in this game if they want to get through this round and out of the knockout stage here. Looking at Feyenoord, come to the game on the back of a 3-game unbeaten run. They've got a long list of injuries, but they've soldiered through. And I think similar to that previous game there, the strong opening 50 minutes got them over the line in the end. They applied pressure early on, they got that early goal, and they were able to maintain that pressure until late in the game. I feel like they cannot fade off in this game here. You have to give a full 90 minutes. We've seen in the last 2 months, Milan have turned it around for draws and wins late on in games. So many different opportunities so far under Conceição's management. So you can't take your foot off the gas, especially away from home at the San Siro. They have to be very, very good throughout the full 90 minutes and really battle the way through this game here for me. If they're going to go through, it's similar heroics from that sort of back group. Willian Ruther in goal, 6 saves last time out. He has to be great in goal yet again, make some key saves, especially early on to try and keep Milan at bay. And as the game goes deeper, you can probably grind out the result. And then the 2 centre halves, Hanko and Beilin, have to be good yet again. They were fantastic in the opening leg. Same thing yet again. Keep it compact, keep it tight. To really sit in deep. I think when you look at Milan, they like to use width and they like to use pace. When they're playing with pace and speed, that's when they look at their best. But when teams sit in deeper and they avoid the ability to be caught over the top, that's when Milan struggle to break down sides. So sit a bit deeper, be nice and compact, and you'll take away what Milan want to do. With that being said, how do I see this game going? I think Milan get going. I think Milan hits some form. They've been playing well domestically. That carries over into this game here. I've got a 3-1 Milan win, meaning they'd get through 3-2 in aggregate. I think they've got what it takes here. Feyenoord are a very, very tough side to beat, but at the San Siro, I back Milan in for a 3-1 victory and to go through 3-2 on aggregate. Our next game keeps us in Italy as Club Brugge travel to Atalanta. A massive game, this one here, because Atalanta, one of my dark horses, a team I could see making a quarterfinal or a semi-final of the competition, but might be knocked out in the playoffs. Massive game for them at home. Obviously, Club Brugge come into this game with that 2-1 aggregate lead and a really deserved performance at home. They played the better football and they won that game at home. It's now Atalanta's turn to play at home and show what they're all about. when you look at the two sides here, you look at Atalanta first, one win in their last 5 games in all competitions. They've struggled. You look to the weekend, they struggled to break down a very average Serie A side there as well. 0-0 in the weekend, dropping some games, losing that last Champions League game. The form and the confidence isn't there. And the way to insert that for me is that central midfield combination. Ederson alongside De Roon. When they play at their best, Atalanta flow. The football is majestic, great to watch. One touch play, they win the ball, they keep the ball, and they get the ball to the dangerous players, which are De Ketelaere, Retegui, as well as Ademola Lookman up top. Those three, obviously, the pinnacle, that triangle up top, they are the keys in most games, but I think it stems from midfield control. So De Roon and Ederson both rested on the weekend. They come into this game here, they have to be at it for minute 1. I think they're so important to the way this team plays its football, the confidence they play with. And if those two are at it for minute 1, I think they can steamroll this Club Brugge side. But the midfield, they didn't win that battle last time out, and they lost that game. And also a big emphasis on De Ketelaere and Retegui to be at their tip-top best up top. When those two link up well, you've got De Ketelaere as that second striker, Retegui leading the line and scoring the goals. It really flows for Atalanta. But I think for me, it stems from that midfield combination of De Roon as well as Ederson. Looking at Club Brugge, they were fantastic that last game. They're unbeaten in the last 4 games in all competitions. They're a hard team to beat. I mean, that's the key thing. Yeah, they come to this game with a lead. They're a hard team to beat. They've got all the power on this tie here. They can manage it as well as they possibly can. They played the much better football than the 90 minutes last time out. More XG, more of the football. All in all, a solid performance. But you look to this game here, and I think it's going to have to be 2 different areas that Parks for players in to stand up. In goal, Mignolet has to be good. Obviously, there's going to be shots peppered away at him. That front three, how talented they are, the attacking football that Atalanta play, especially at home, the confidence they get from that home crowd. But then looking further forward of the pitch, I think Van de Ven, the number 10, the captain of the side, he's so important to the build-up play. I think Club Brugge can't just go away from their philosophy. They can't just go away from the way they want to play their football and just sit in. I think they still have to go and play. Yeah, still be on the front foot. If you get a goal, you can almost kill the tie off. 3-1 lead, then you can sit in, then you can absorb as much pressure as you want. But if you sit in from the start and you don't have those ball players and creators like Van de Ven on the ball as much as possible, you slowly start to get overwhelmed by the attacking power of Atalanta. So I think Club Brugge are absolutely in this tie. They can definitely cause some problems. We know how talented they can be against the big sides. They've caused some big upsets. They're a hard team to beat. And I think Van de Ven has to be heavily involved. And as the number 10, dropping in, playing the passes, spreading the play, getting Club Brugge playing the football they want to play, because if they go into their shell, Atalanta will run riot. And I think that's the way this game's going to go. I've got an Atalanta 3-1 win here at home, meaning they go through 4-3 on aggregate. I just can't see this Atalanta side getting knocked out. I know it's a dangerous Club Brugge side, but Atalanta get the win here for me. Our next game takes us to the Allianz Arena as Bayern Munich hosts Celtic in our next game here. Bayern, far from impressive, I guess, in that 2-1 win versus Celtic. They had all the control, they gave it up, and ended up only leaving Celtic Park with a 2-1 lead. Don't get me wrong, that's job done for them. A tough place to go play football. They get the result. But in recent weeks, we've seen that with Bayern. They haven't been really, I guess, all that impressive. They've just gotten over the line, grinded out some results, and it feels like they're in that mould at this current point in time. However, you look at this team, they come to this game unbeaten in the last 6 matches, winning the last 3 matches between these two clubs as well. They've got the history in behind them. And when I think of this team in recent weeks, I said it, game management has been their style. A 0-0 on the weekend versus Bayer Leverkusen. They were happy to go there and accept the draw. Then they'll go into this game here. They'll go and attack for the first 45 minutes, but they've got the upper hand in this game here. And I think game management is going to be what this one's all about. And as such, I think Joshua Kimmich plays a massive role in this game here for me, alongside Leon Goretzka or potentially a Pavlovic, to control the centre of the park, to keep possession, to keep Bayern in the front foot and limit the counter-attacks and the chance that Celtic can have. I think Kimmich has a massive role to play in this game here. And also Harry Kane, that opening half for him had a few chances, eventually scored come the second half. And that was really, really important for Bayern. He'll be important yet again. If you put away an early chance, you make this game 3-1. I can't see Celtic coming back away from home. Looking at Celtic, an interesting game for them last time out. Yes, it was a loss. But really, really credit to them for keeping at it and being the better side come the hour mark. After the hour mark to the end of the game, they were the better side. They could have made it 2-2. So they go into this game with a little bit of confidence. They've got to start smart and start quickly, though, because if Bayern get in control and score an early goal, I think this tie is over. So really, really important they make a quick start. They've scored 18 goals in the last 5 games. I know we're talking about the Scottish League in there as well, but they've got goals in their game, and that's where it's going to be important, this one here. I think Jota in the wide space, coming back to the club, being that dangerous goal scorer, he's going to be important yet again. Then I look to the midfield area, the energy and the intensity that can be brought by the likes of Engels and Hatate in the middle of the park. They're going to be very, very important to make sure they're putting their foot on Bayern's throat from minute one and potentially win that midfield battle. If they can win that midfield battle, it might go a long way for them winning this game of football. Do I see them getting a result? No, I think Bayern are way too good. They'll put their foot in the accelerator in the first half and kill this tie off for me. A Bayern 3-0 controlled win here for me, meaning they go through 5-1 in aggregate. They gave Celtic though an avenue in this game by only winning 2-1 away from home last time out. And if Celtics do score the first goal, watch out. This could be a very dangerous tie to keep an eye out for. We move to Portugal for our next game as Benfica take on Monaco. And this is one of those ties I can't call. If they're honest with you, Benfica go out of Monaco. They win the game 1-0. I was expecting a draw in that one, to be honest with you. But that's a massive advantage because they're in some fantastic form in recent games. They come to this game on the back of a 5-game win streak. They've got 3 clean sheets in that time there. They're in form. They're the side in front in this tie. And they're at home as well. But we know from the past they've thrown away some leads in the Champions League. They haven't been good at home in the Champions League. So there's all power to Monaco here to try and make a tie of this. And both teams are those teams that they can have their moments. They can have moments when they boss games. They can have moments where they throw away control of games. So it's going to be a very, very interesting tie to see. You're looking at this Benfica side, as they are in the ascendancy, I think they'll look to manage the game, control the game, play it on their terms, and be defensively solid. And that's when the likes of Otamendi and Silva, the talented duo at the back, come into it. They're going to have a massive game here, prevent those pacey, very skillful Monaco players from getting spaces in behind or opportunities to shoot. Be touch tight, limit those opportunities, and Monaco's, I guess, real strength in the final third disappears, and as such, you can control the game from there on in. I think it's really, really important they keep those at arm's length. The midfield as well, like Cocu in the middle of the park, really, really important once more. But I think the centre-back duo holds the key for Benfica in this game here. Game management's a key thing you always talk about in second leg ties. You come in with an advantage, you might as well control it at home. So look to those two at the heart of the defence to be very, very important. For Monaco, they come back of a 7-1 win versus Nantes on the weekend. It showed their attacking prowess. It shows their attacking talent. Bereth up top, coming off a hat-trick in that game there. He'll look to be heavily involved, as well as the other spark-type players, Ekaluche, Mbolo, even Bente here in the final third. These younger, attacking, dynamic players, they hold the key. Monaco looked a little bit quieter in the first leg at home. They need some more talent. They need some more energy inserted in their play, but more pace and intensity in the final third. And these spark players, like I mentioned, can definitely bring that, especially Ekaluche for me. One of the more talented players in the world of football right now, has his off and on games. And when he's on it, Monaco look very, very good in the final third. They look to him to lead that charge in the final third. If Monaco can play with a bit more intensity in the final third, a bit more precision, there's no reason why they can't go out of this tie, win this tie away from home, and get into the next round. But I just don't see them doing it away at Benfica. I think Benfica manage the game. They get the job done in the end. They keep it tight defensively. They own the major moments, and they win this game 2-1. That's my prediction. They're going to go through 3-1 aggregate. I think it's a very, very important lead they've taken away from home. It gives them the confidence in this game here, and they get to the line versus a very, very talented Monaco side. Our first game from the Wednesday night fixture sees Dortmund host Sporting Lisbon. This tie almost practically wrapped up. Dortmund winning 3-0 away from home at Sporting last time means it's all in their hands in this game here. And despite having a very, very poor season, they're a very, very good side at the Signal Iduna Park. So I can't see them really throwing away this result. Keeping that in mind, though, outside of their last 2 Champions League games where they've been convincing, they've been awful in league play. So there's definitely an ability and a slim hope here for Sporting Lisbon if they start fast to get the better of this Borussia Dortmund side. So when I look at this unit, I look at that first leg, and I see Pascal Gross and the domination he had in the centre of the park, the goal he scored. I think he's the key yet again. Dortmund have struggled to control games of football. They have a lot of possession, but not much with it. But what we saw in that first leg was control and chances created. And it was all down to Pascal Gross. He was brought in to be that player. He hasn't been that player this season. The first time I've seen it was the last leg, was that first leg, the last game, the Champions League versus the Sporting side. He was everywhere, touched the football, goals, impact, direct passes to set up the attacking play. I think it's going to be very, very important yet again in this game here. And also the heroes of last season, Schlotterbeck, Kobel, fantastic in that first leg. Big defensive acts, big saves when needed, especially against a Sporting side that is dangerous going forward. They were fantastic. They're going to have to be good yet again because Sporting are going to come out for minute one and try and apply that pressure, throw the game onto Dortmund and make them uncomfortable. So those defenders, in particular, the experienced Schlotterbeck and the ever great Kobel and goal are going to have to be good yet again to keep Sporting Lisbon quiet. Looking at Sporting, only one win in the last 5 games. They're struggling without Ruben Amorim there. No clean sheet in their last 5 games as well. It is going to need a bit of a miracle for me for them to get through this tie. I look at this side, you're going to have to look for those attacking players. Coenda, Gyökeres, got to be relentless, runs in behind, pressing from the front. You've got to be quick. A quick start gets you in this tie. A slow start, you can almost call it quits. You have to be 1-0 up or 2-0 up within the first 30 minutes. Otherwise, I can't really see an avenue to this game here. Dortmund will build into the game. They'll get their comfort if you don't apply pressure from the start. Really, really important, those attacking players, Gyökeres and Coenda in particular, get going from the start and give Sporting a chance in this game here. We know how vulnerable Dortmund are defensively. They don't keep many clean sheets, so they're going to have to be at it for minute one to make up this deficit they gave themselves in the first leg. I think Sporting do get over the line, but I don't see them getting over the line enough to win this two-legged affair. I've got Dortmund losing it 2-1. As such, Dortmund going through 4-2 in aggregate. I just think Sporting, they gave themselves too much of a challenge to overcome, and they can't do it in this one for me. Our next game is the all-French affair. Paris Saint-Germain take on Brest. Another tie which is already basically over. PSG coming to this game with a 3-0 aggregate win. They come back to the Parc des Princes and have a chance to reinforce that massive lead. They're unbeaten now in their last 18 games. No loss to Brest in their last 21 meetings, and they're trying to continue a 6-game win streak. It all point to another PSG win here for me. Looking at their side, the talented players, Ousmane Dembele has been fantastic in recent weeks. 2 goals in the first leg, 14 goals in his last 8 games. He is obviously the star man for this side. He'll be important yet again. But keep in mind that midfield duo of Vitinha and João Neves as well. They were absolutely fantastic in that opening leg. What PSG need if they're going to go deep in this competition is those two performing. To look to those two again, to be at it from the start, control the central battle, win those 50-50 duels, and get PSG on the front foot from minute one in this game here. Looking at Brest, they come to this game only won 2 games out of the last 5 in all competition. They'll need a miracle for me if they're going to win this game here. It's a long way back, 3-0 down away from home. If they're going to come back, if they're going to make it a game, I'm looking to that midfield creative area. Romain Faivre and Melou in the centre of the park. They're going to have to be much better. They're your more experienced players. Again, midfields are so important, these Champions League ties. They were both very, very poor, not involved, out of the game in that first leg. They're going to be much more involved, much better in the final third in terms of their chance creation if Brest want any chance. And then looking at the front two, Jorke and Simmer have to be clinical. The first chance you get, you have to score, put pressure back on PSG. If you're wasteful, if you miss opportunities, Brest, you've got no chance. You're overcoming a 3-goal deficit. You have to take every single chance you get for me if you want to have any chance of getting through this tie here. With that being said, do I see PSG compounding the misery? Yes, I do. Another 3-0 win here for me. They might rest some players, but the quality will be on the park and it'll be there to be seen. 3-0 win for PSG, 6-0 in aggregate. Unfortunately, Brest time, the Champions League, comes to an end here for me. Our penultimate game is in the Netherlands. Another fantastic tie. PSV take on Juventus. Juventus coming into the second leg, leading 2-1 thanks to a late Mbangula goal in that first leg. They're a classic Champions League tie there in Turin in the opening leg. I expect a similar one here between two very, very competitive sides. Starting off with PSV, they were relatively quiet in the first game, but kept looking dangerous on the break with some good movements. And looking at it, they were getting better as the game went on for me. They've only won once, though, in their last 5 attempts, so they're lacking form coming to this game, but they've definitely got the quality and the confidence to take it to this Juventus side here. When I look at this PSV side, I'm looking to the dangerous players in the wide spaces. Noah Lang, Ivan Perisic on the flanks, they're going to be very, very important to eject that energy in the final third and goals into the PSV side, because we know how good Juventus are defensively. They're very good in shutting down transition, and they shut down one of the best sides in world football in Inter on the weekend. So you know you're going to have to be very, very special to break down this Juventus side. So look to those players, the dangerous ones in the flanks, Perisic and Noah Lang, to be the difference makers, and also the centre of the park as well. Joey Verman and Jeremy Charlton there. Both really, really talented. A great combination of yin and yang. Great on the ball. Can get transitional players going. Can win midfield battles. Can win the ball back really, really well. If they're heavily involved, they have their fingerprints all over this game here. PSV have a real opportunity to make a game out of it. I think winning that midfield battle, especially at home, can go a long way to driving your team forward and getting the better of a very, very solid defensive side in Juventus. Looking at Juve, they have won their last 4 games in all competitions, and their previous 2 games versus PSV, they've both won as well. So the history is with the side. They've played some great football in recent weeks, including that win on the weekend versus Inter Milan. For me, some of the key players, Winston McKennie. Who would have thought I'd be saying that name in 2025? But he's been a revelation in the number 10 role. Great with the ball, but more importantly off the ball. His work rate, his pressing, his ability to win the ball back is what makes him so, so important. He leads that midfield battle, and he's so important for the link-up play that Juventus have. One-touch football, he's the link, he's the give-and-go person. They work off him, and they play so well off him as well. So Winston McKennie's going to be huge yet again for Juventus, ensuring they win that battle in the centre of the park, and show they're competitive in terms of pressing from the front. And he's going to be that workhorse for Thiago Motta's side that keeps him in possession of the football as much as possible, because we know PSV want to keep the ball, want to play. So Winston McKennie, a very, very important player. And then equally important, maybe even more important, with the centre-back combination. Federico Gatti, as well as Renato Vega, the centre-half position there, pivotal. Juventus have been built this season off defensive solidity in the Champions League, in Serie A. These two have been fantastic as a new combination since the start of January, and look to them yet again to be important. I think Juve are going to come to this game wanting a draw and will take a 0-0 draw. And I think as such, you look at these more hard-working, work rate, defensive type players, they're going to be the pivotal players for Juve in this game. Forget Yildiz, forget Kolo Muani, forget Mbangula, Nico Gonzalez. It's going to be these defensive players that are in the foundation for Juve getting the result here for me. They're coming with the lead, they keep the lead for me. I think it's going to be a classic Juventus 0-0 in this game here. PSV will be pushing, knocking on the door for the full 90 minutes, but Juve will keep them out due to those defensive players I've listed. As such, PSV 0, Juve 0. Juve go through 2-1 on aggregate. That brings us to our final game, the big one. Real Madrid hosts Manchester City from the Bernabeu. What a game this one is going to be. Real Madrid coming back 3-2 in the previous game, the first leg. They taken advantage here to the Bernabeu. A lot for Man City to do, but they come into this game with the more confidence, with arguably the more fitter side. Real Madrid under the pump in terms of injuries, dropping games left, right and centre. Only 2 wins in their last 5 games in all competitions. They've conceded 7 goals in that time. No clean sheet in their last 5 games. It's been a downhill spiral. The good news for them, though, is Antonio Rudiger is back to man Mark Erling Haaland to be that physical figure at the heart of the centre-back position. Him alongside Asensio have a massive job to do. You've got to keep Man City quiet. They're a goal-scoring machine at this current point in time, whether it be Haaland, Omar Mamouche, Savinho linking up, Foden, Bernardo Silva. There's goals in Man City at the moment. Very, very important game for Antonio Rudiger coming back, and Asensio alongside him being tight, being that physical presence, putting Man City off. If they get a bright, fast start, I can't see Real Madrid conjuring another comeback. I got to be honest, they look very out of form this current point in time. They have to manage the game. You can't give up 2 goals and to start this game off. If it's going to be 1 goal, it has to end as 1 goal. You have to score the next one. I can't see Real Madrid turning another one around. They have to manage this game. So defenders, those 2 in particular, massive game, especially to shut down Erling Haaland. And then a huge, huge game to be played from Federico Valverde. he is Mr. Champions. He is Mr. Real Madrid. It feels like he always produces big games in big moments, big goals, and the like. Massive job for him. He will be playing right back. He will be going directly up against Omar Marmoush, who's coming off a hat-trick. You got to be at your best. And I know Valverde is always at his best, but he's going to have to give you 11, 12 out of 10 because I think Omar Marmoush is ready. He's ready to cause all sorts of problems to the Real Madrid backline. So Valverde, a massive job to keep him quiet. And then equally so, and equally importantly, is his leadership. His ability on the ball to keep possession for Real Madrid, to be that calm head on the pitch when things might get a little bit tough and rough out there. He's been in these big moments. He knows how to respond to them. So look to him to lead this side from right back, cutting it, inverting it centre of the park. A massive job for Valverde. Looking at Man City, despite that massive turnaround in the first leg, they came back and battered Newcastle United 4-0 on the weekend, 12 goals in their last 5 games. For me, the key players are the two I've talked about to high heavens. Omar Marmoush and Savinho. The link-up of those two on the weekend were fantastic. It feels like they've cracked the code yet again. Those look very, very good. Dynamic, direct, reading each other, telepathic in the final third, and that's a dangerous side to see. If those two are on the ball as much as possible, if they're getting chances in and around the box, Man City are winning this game of football. I think that's simply put. They're two players in some fantastic form. They're spark players, they're bright players, they're X factors, and when they're heavily involved, Man City fans be excited. So look to those two to be the key players this game here. And then a massive game for Nico Gonzalez, who's just been chucked into that role as our solid number 6. Did it well on the weekend versus Newcastle United. We know what he's done in the past in his time in the Portuguese League. Can you do it in the biggest game? This is Man City's biggest game of the season. Down 3-2 at the Bernabeu, a chance to make it into the round of 16 after underperforming. It feels like all things are coming together for the side. So if you get this win, a chain reaction, you go on and do fantastic work this season. But this is the game you have to overcome. The great Real Madrid in the Champions League. He could be the guy. If Man City do not get overrun in midfield, they look fantastic. But when they do get overrun, with the likes of Bellingham in there likely, and the likes of Tchouaméni, Ceballos, it's a very talented midfield. It's a strong midfield. A lot of work for Nico Gonzalez to do, but if he's up to the task, Man City go and win this game of football for me. So look to him to be that core, that cog that gets Man City turning in the centre of the park. I think we're up for another classic. These two sides, I'm so surprised when they haven't had a final between the two of them because they're just two fabulous sides. But again, we're going to be blessed with another great game at the Bernabeu. I think a 2-2 result was how this one ends up. As such, Real Madrid get through 5-4 in aggregate. There's going to be chaos, there's going to be controversy, but at the end of it, Real Madrid, just the Champions League aura gets them over the line in this game for me. With that being said, ladies and gents, that brings my Champions League prediction video to an end for this second leg ties. Let me know your favourite game out of these ones in the comment section down below. Let me know your predictions for these games. Do you think I got it right? Do you think I got it wrong? Who's some of your key players? Let me know all that in the comment section down below. And I got to mention to you guys as well, we've got a membership on the channel as well. An exclusive video for members coming out once a month. Early access to podcasts. You'll get the ability to produce different stickers in the new live streams coming up for the back end of the season. So if you're interested in supporting the channel with a couple of dollars per month, please join the membership. There'll be more traits coming as the months go on, but that's the initial stuff for that. So if you are interested in joining, supporting the channel, that'll be much appreciated. If you like the video, guys, please press a like on it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the Players In channel for more prediction, reaction content, and the lot podcast coming back. I know it's been a few weeks, but that's coming back to the channel as well. So keep your eyes peeled here on the channel. Smash that post notification bell as well, so you know when we're uploading our videos and podcasts here. That will be much appreciated. With that being said, guys, enjoy the Champions League action. These playoffs have been fantastic so far. Will they deliver yet again? We'll have to wait and see. It's been super, super exciting. Enjoy those games. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you guys in the video or podcast very, very soon. The next time, guys, see you later.